no longer sorrow. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know I send me a figure flee. Me have to take away myself. Me have to take away myself. Me have to hide like a thief in the night. Me have to get out of sight. Me have to take away myself. I have to take away myself. I have to utilize thy wings. Surely I leave where I
Greetings, kings and queens. Welcome to another Real Stuff podcast. Today is Tuesday, and when it's Tuesday, one thing I do know that happened in the United States, there's an election going on somewhere in some states, in some county, whether it's be a county election, a municipality election, a commissioner's election, even a school board election. But there's an election going on a Tuesday. And for us, what's happening for us on a Tuesday? We have either Tuesday discussion or we have the CARI FRICAN youth's voices. And today we have a Tuesday discussion, and it's about what is mental health crisis. We have some professionals joining us in a few minutes. Carlston, Queen Angela, and a gentleman by the name of Tinashe will be joining us as well. And we're expecting some youths as well to join us in this conversation. So stick and stay, don't go nowhere. We will be right back. I'm going to wake you up this morning with something they call hop, hop, hop.
take away ourselves.
I say up, up, up. I rise up, sunrise shining, new day dawning, giving hope and inspiration. Up, 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 way up. Give thanks for blessings great and small. Give thanks for loved ones near and far. Give thanks for health, strength, and prosperity. Up, 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 way up. Like one, standing straight and strong. First and foremost, I and I say one. One aim, one destiny, one love. Up, positively. Up, 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 up.
Yes. We are on a up note this morning. The music of Oku Honora. And of course, we have Flavius who is joining us. Francine is out today. She might, pop in because, she's on the front line. And from what we are hearing, the things in Jamaica, especially
recording
in the
in
hospital.
progress.
Thank you, my lady. Especially in the hospital is not too good. So I'm going to ask Flavius, what's happening in your neck of the woods?
Look like a sunny morning.
I only can see your cap. I can't see your head. Where you showing your cap this morning?
Oh, there you are.
All right. Okay. So what's happening in your neck of the woods, man?
Nothing much, nothing unusual, nothing new. Sunshine is, sun is out in its glory.
Well, you can't give it nothing different than the sun, eh?
Nothing because we are on lockdown, so everybody is actually
So what with the radio? The radio ain't saying nothing?
nothing. Nobody's saying anything yet.
All right. All right, Courtney, what's happening in your neck of the woods?
Well, it's just a lovely day, sunshine, 82 degrees Fahrenheit, and, enjoying it. But I heard that as soon as Labor Day comes, the weather normally changes. And so, I like the cooler weather still, but not the cold weather. So,
Run for cover.
yeah, so everything is okay. Just looking up.
It's so like you want to run for cover, either. Run for cover. So, Max, what's happening in your neck of the woods?
Oh, boy. Well, we do have some sunshine. Lies. It's going to rain. I don't believe anything Florida sun says anymore.
Welcome to Florida. Welcome to Florida.
But it's a beautiful day. We're up. Look at all the wonderful faces and people and the vibes. It's the love our floor. Make we do the thing.
I just moved my curtain just to see what the sky look like, but it's a pretty sky. So, as I tell you, Florida is unpredictable. The weather is not what it seems to be. So, I see the Queen Angela is here. Top of the morning, Queen.
Hi.
How you doing?
Top of the morning. Oh, top of the evening. I'm good, thank you.
Then rising and good evening.
We're in a different time zone. Evening. As we have a song we used to sing, say, now the day is over, night is drawing near. So your day is almost over. You're in the evening, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So I'm gonna just turn over the floor to Max Wanette, and she can take it from there.
You too.
Okay.
Wow. Look at all the wonderful people we have here. I see Brother Kennedy. Grand Rising. Good evening, Brother Kennedy. It's good to see everyone here. Okay, so today's topic, where's Courtney? There's Courtney. Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm here.
I see you, Court. I see you. Today's topic, again, is about mental health. As we all know, mental health is a very important and vital topic because without up here being okay, everything else is a mess. So, and I think a lot of us are suffering, a lot of people are suffering with mental illness. They may not even realize it. So how does it affect everyone? How does it affect our youths? Does it have a big effect? Is it a big deal? So we're here today to discuss this. So, Queen Angela, I know you're here on our panel as well as Brother Tinashe. And who am I forgetting? Someone else.
Carlston. He's not here yet.
He's not here yet. Okay. Courtney, did you want to introduce what is going on with Queen Angela, or did you want me to continue?
No, go ahead. Continue.
So kind. So Queen Angela, if you could, briefly just tell us your history in mental illness and then give us your take on it, on mental health.
Right. I'm a psychiatric trained nurse. I trained in the UK, as well as training in general nursing and midwifery, counseling, etc. I've been involved in a lot of counseling in the jobs that I've held as a humanitarian worker to give support to the staff and their families, to give support to the communities at large who have been displaced, internally displaced, externally displaced, as well as those that have been mutilated. I've also been involved in youths that have been involved in drug taking. self-injury. And also I was involved in giving their families support in identifying the proper treatment for the young people. I was involved in, I can't remember the year, in the Haiti volcano where people were displaced, in Nairobi where people were displaced, in Sudan in the war with internal displacements as well. So I was involved in working with both adults and children.
Wow. Okay. That's a good history there. Let me ask Brother Tinashe, could you unmute your mic for me, please, and briefly introduce yourself and your connection to mental health and illness and wellness?
Hello, everyone.
Oh.
Hello.
Great. I'm so humbled to be on this platform. Thank you very much for the offer. I'll give you my background. I'm a Zimbabwean registered alternative medical practitioner. I think you would understand it if we would say I'm more like a naturopathic doctor of some sort.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm actually registered with our Zimbabwean board, and I've been working with the youths since 2018. I once volunteered for the International Commission for the Drug and Alcoholism Dependency, which is ICPA Zimbabwe chapter. I've also worked with on a volunteer basis with a lot of other local NGOs which deal with the marginalized communities.
Okay.
And I've realized from my approach to health, I've realized that biology is also affected by psychological and social factors, something that we seem to lag behind as far as our conventional medicine is concerned. Hence, we thought we could come up with something that would actually bridge the gap, because you understand, if you want to understand how we're being affected as a globe as far as mental health is concerned, you can look at our functionality or efficacy of most of us. We seem to be struggling with more mental issues than physical issues. Because I'll give you an example.
Okay.
It seems as if our health field is built up in silos, which is something that I see as something that is not healthy. What do I mean when I say it's built in silos? It's something that is being appreciated now, like the effects of our mental well-being to our physical health. I'll give you an example of asthma. You understand? Asthma is also there are a lot of researches which are actually building up, which are actually coining a new approach to how we tend to look into these things. For example, you realize that someone who's asthmatic, it has been proven by various studies to say that most people who are born of stressed parents, they are likely to become asthmatic, because that asthmatic condition, you'd realize the coping mechanism would be exhausted. So the people would need to support the asthmatic condition with something from outside. Like if you're asthmatic, I think you are aware of the two the two inhalers that you're given. The other one is a bronchodilator, which dilates the bronchioles. Because someone who's asthmatic, you find there's his or her bronchioles will have spasms, which will result in which will cause him or her to wheeze, that wheezing sound and stuff. So for that and also he or she will have an inflammation of the lungs. So this issue, the organs which are supposed to pump these things out, the hormones which are supposed to address these issues with adrenaline and cortisol, and those are the hormones which are used to make our those or the bronchodilators and the bronchodilators and the corticosteroids that we use for the asthmatic patients. So you realize that the relationship between the human mind and the organs which are supposed to. Hello.
Yes, you're here. We're still
1 minute, Brother Tinashe. If I can just interrupt you briefly, give me 1 minute. We seem to be having a little technical difficulties with Queen Angela. Just 1 minute. Let me see if I can get her to come in. Okay. Queen Angela, can you unmute your mic for me? Okay, we may not be able.
Ask everyone who is not making a presentation just to mute your mic until your time, if we call upon you for talk.
Okay, hold on. Okay, Queen Angela, we're having problems with Queen Angela. Her electricity went out. So everyone, please excuse us for a moment while she takes care of that. I'm going to get back to Brother Tinashe in just 1 minute. Brother Kennedy, it's beautiful to see you. Could you unmute your mic for me, please? How are you, Brother Kennedy?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
Oh, beautiful, doing great. I'm just curious as your take, especially as a youth, on the mental illness and mental health. Queen Angela is trying to get back in. I'm going to let you speak, and then I'm going to go back over to her and then get back to Brother Tinashe. So tell me, what is your opinion or your take on how mental health and mental illness affects the youths?
Thank you very much, Maxonetta. I'm very humbled and grateful to be here and to share with you and also to listen. I'm very much eagerly waiting to hear from different perspectives about this topic about mental health and also mental illness and also mental health crisis. From my perspective, I can just say that things are not good. Things are, most of the youth, you find that many are now going down because of mental health. And this thing of mental health, we can trace it to now maybe how these youth were raised up. And you find that also the societal expectation. The society expects so much from the youth. You look at when you finish now your education, you need to start providing for yourself. And you as you know, this time getting a job has become a problem. You find that now looking for a job has become a job itself. And many youth, you find that they've placed their mind in such a way that they want to finish education so that they get a job. They don't want to create a job. Because also the education system that we are going through, the education system is now bringing up youths who are just job-oriented. They want to be in offices. They want to address like in suites. They want to sit down and now do the job. They don't want to do the handy or craft activities that can help them now and also to be creative. That apart from now looking for office jobs, but there is something that you can do that can earn you a living, that can sustain you. But now what is happening? It is now you finish school and then start looking for a job. You can't do anything. If you can't be employed in the course that you did in the university, then that's the end of you. You sit down. And what comes after that? You start now depending on the parents. And at that time is now the parents now want you now to start giving back to the society. But it finds now you have nothing. You want now to depend on the society that educated you.
That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if Queen Angela, thanks for sharing that, Brother Kennedy. I appreciate your outlook on it. Queen Angela, are you available? Have you connected? I think not. Okay, I'm going to go back to Brother Tinashe. Brother Tinashe, please continue on
before 1 minute, Max. Before Tinashe goes, check if Carlston is here, because I think he's trying to come in. I think this might be him. 1 minute.
Is that him there? Okay.
Because he had sent me a text that he's coming in now.
Okay, not a problem. That's probably him there.
Oh, that's Carlston there.
All right. Okay, 1 minute, Brother Tinashe. Oh, there you are. Hi, Brother Carlston. How you doing? Let's unmute you.
I am okay. How you doing?
Beautiful, especially now that you're here. Great to have you.
Yeah.
Again, the topic, is mental health, mental illness. How is this affecting the youths, especially in the Caribbean and in Africa? So this is what the topic is about today, of course, and we would love your take on it your expertise.
Okay, thank you.
Please feel free to go ahead, and then I'm going to roll it back over to Brother Tinashe.
Well, let me first start by saying welcome and nice to meet you, Brother Tinashe. Did I pronounce it correct?
Yes.
Good. We've mentioned before, even let's start from present day now. Within the Caribbean, within the world itself, now we're at a stage where we're going back into our perception of normality. We are trying to get back out into the world, get back to events, and try to do what we consider to be normal at first. And what I've noticed is that now there's such a reluctance between people to go back into communities, back into being around each other, because we adjusted to separation. We adjusted to having that distance between each other. So for some people, it is welcome that you can go to events. But at present, there's still a lot of people that have what we call social anxiety. All it simply means is having a panic feeling within your nervous system about being around other people, because the perception is that you're going to be ill. You're still going to pick up the coronavirus. And all of these emotions are still heightened over the last 18 months of conditioning, if you understand where I'm coming from.
Right.
Yeah. So when I work with someone, one of the things I always identify is ask people, what do you want? And most of the times they tell you what they don't want. And I notice that what people do want to feel comfortable and feel secure being around other human beings. But because for the last 18 months, we've been so conditioned to keep safe, keep distance, hands, face, mask. Over a period of time, you train your nervous system how to react. So now that we're going back, we're coming out of lockdown in some areas, you got to retrain your nervous system how to be calm and relaxed around people. And because this is something that we don't talk about. This is something that there's no blueprint or no handbook that passed down to anyone to say, this is what we can do, how we can get ourselves gradually back into society and feel secure and feel comfortable. So as we talk about mental health now, we talked about mental health earlier, a few months ago, when we went into lockdown. Now we got to look at mental health as we come out of lockdown. How do we integrate back into society without feeling that sense of anxiety, that sense of panic?
Right. Right, right. That's a very good point, because a lot of people don't stop to think that there is some residual effects from this. It's sort of like a even post-traumatic stress kind of thing, even going in, going out. Yes, no, it really would mess up the psyche. That's
Yeah,
a good
because
point.
from my observation, if you 7 days a week, about every hour in the afternoon, you have an ad that will come on there. 5 ads in, I just worked out some math. 5 ads in the evening, right? 5, 5 days a week. That's 35. That's 25 ads you're constantly seeing, right? That's telling you keep this, keep away from crowds. Over a period of time, that's what we call conditioning. You are actually creating an anchor to allow the person know that distance is safe, proximity to a person, being too close is dangerous. Being too close, you can get something like the coronavirus. Being too close is harmful. Over a period of time, we've created anchors within society through messaging of keep distance, stay safe.
Yeah.
Understand that message? No, when you got to revert and people have to come back out now, that is where you have a clash between your thinking and where you're conditioned to think or react or behave compared to what we think we want. Now, I'll give you some share the experience I had a few days ago. Now, there is it's like eyeglasses. They call them Oculus. It's like a VR headset.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried on one for the first time. I think it was Saturday gone. And what was amazing to me is I was playing a game. I was in a roller coaster. Now, consciously, I realized I am still in a room standing up. This is a game. This is something on my head that's showing me a virtual image. It is not real. Yet, as I watched it and the car turned to the left, I can feel my body reacting as though I was actually in a roller coaster. I was laughing. I found it so fascinating. And a friend of mine that it was his game, he was wondering what am I freaking out about. I said because this proves that despite I know that I am actually in my own room, I'm standing up there on the ground. My nervous system is reacting as though I'm actually in a roller coaster because I am having it on your eyes. You are directly inputting that information to your eyes. Your eyes is part of your brain, so that information is going straight into your nervous system, into your senses. And my body started to react as though I was actually moving. I actually started to get motion sickness from standing up in my room playing a game. And that proves that we can train our nervous system to react to information, sensory information. Even though we know it is not real, does not mean that we can't react to it.
Right.
So if you can put so if we are easily programmable by information to cause us to react the way we do, and we can recognize that, then how do you reprogram your nervous system? How do you reprogram yourself to react different? That's a big question. We start with understanding where we are. We start and for those that are familiar with this, CBT, NLP, EMDR, all these different acronyms for just techniques on how you just rewrite or remap your brain. You simply need to realize that in your brain, your memory is also information that your nervous system recognizes how to react. And if we focus on thinking about the times when we sat down with our family and how secure and how good we felt, and we think about that regular, we can actually train ourselves how we want to be, how we want to react, rather than how we've been programmed to react the last 18 months. It takes time, like everything else. It's literally like learning to ride a bicycle. Right. If you haven't ridden a bicycle in say 5 years, people always say you always remember how to ride a bicycle. You might get you start back on it, you start to get a bit wobbly and to get stabilized, but you get it done faster the second time than you did the first time because your nervous system already knows how to react. You just got to access that and practice it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes perfect sense. Yeah. Makes sense.
You're right about that one with the bicycle.
Oh yeah. The memory will come back to you. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see what. Go ahead. No, you
No,
were
I said
saying?
we always talk about muscle memory, but it's actually not. It's not muscle memory per se. It's actually nervous memory.
Nervous memory,
The nervous
right.
system members.
Right, right. It's true, and it's people are not aware that how trauma. This is what happens. Just as you brought the example, you may see something, or you may even hear, "Oh, well, they killed somebody around the corner," and you're like, "Oh, okay," and you may think it's not affecting you, but it is.
Yeah.
And you just don't know how it's going to manifest and how it's going to come out. Very good points there. I'm going to let Brother Tinashe continue. We're still trying to get Queen Angela back in, so bear with us. We may not, but we're going to keep hope alive. Hold on, Brother Medford. Okay, Brother Tinashe, go right ahead, please, and continue with what you were saying regarding the connection with mental health in the youth.
Okay. I'm tempted to divert a bit, or in fact to restructure what I've been saying. Both I just want to align what I've been sharing with what is really affecting the youth. Right? Hello?
Go right ahead. We're hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, thank you. Because one thing that I've realized is, without understanding, any plans to act will breed conflicts and heartbreaks and confusion. So we need to go back and understand the root cause of our problem as a people or as communities. Like, one thing that we share in common, from what I'm picking on this platform, we are all blacks. And the fact that we are blacks is not our melanin. It's not a case in our pigment, in our melanin to be black, but we have become victims of marginalization, which has spelled so many social ills on ourselves as a race. You understand? As blacks. Why? Because if you understand, there's something that we understand, that the human brain finds safety in areas of familiarity. Like, that is the reason why you realize that it's very difficult for a woman who is being abused by his or by a husband to go and report that husband to the police, because there's what we call Stockholm syndrome. You get attached to your abuser. Right. You understand? So the challenge with this now is the effects it has on the offsprings. You understand? Sure. Because most of our youths are dysfunctional, not by choice, but as a consequence of how they were born, or how they were conceived, born and raised. Because your mothering instinct as a mother, or your fathering instinct as a father, will be compromised if you undergo certain types of stresses. In general, as a people, we have been alienated from the resources of life. Like, remember, we were we're not. I would like to match this current environment that you are living in, especially in towns, as animals in a zoo, or as fish in a fish pond. You understand what I mean? Yes. Because these cities that you are living in, these are human-made systems which are devoid of an understanding of our needs as a people. And that is the reason why, and our emptiness is reflected by our appetite by our appetite for materials. Because like almost everyone is crying, oh, our youth are addicted, but even the adults are also addicted with in a way, by the way they actually try to amass wealth, trying to quench their insatiable thirst of emptiness from within. Because the effects of that kind of life is equally the same as compared to an addict's life. Because this is what is pushing so much. This is what is putting so much pressure on us, because we want to try and we're trying to chase the wild goose. I don't know. Am I clear?
You are very clear.
Thank you. So I think what we need to do as a people, or what I think would be, would need to understand this, because like we need to understand this and try to support. Because like, for example, the serious violence which is perpetrated towards the addicts. Because many people, especially those who are not addicts, they think being an addict is a choice. Mm-hmm. Hence, we close these people are out, worsening our situation as a people. Because the only situation that is sustainable is an inclusive one. Mm-hmm. These people are victims of some kind of traumatic background that they've grown in.
Okay, 1 minute, Brother Tinashe. Let me just make sure I'm understanding you clearly. You're saying like addicts, whether it's drug addict, alcohol, whatever the substance may be, that the reason for this is because they're actually battling some type of mental illness or something that's triggering them to reach out for this type of whether it's relief or whatever the case it may be. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Because
okay, please continue.
From my understanding, drug addicts are self-medicating people. They'll be self-medicating because they find a temporal relief from their addictive behaviors. You understand?
Yes.
That's the reason why it's not in the drug, because you can tell. I think I'm talking from people from the Caribbean. You understand. We have a lot of amongst yourselves, amongst your communities. We have people who have been, for example, who have been smoking marijuana for years and years, and they are actually grown up, and they are not even addicted as some of the youth we are seeing in the streets.
Well, okay, I agree, but marijuana is a completely. It's a very topic because, well, yes, if you're talking about the marijuana that's grown in Jamaica, it's usually natural, it's clean, it's green, not compared to the stuff that who knows what, and they put all these other chemicals, and then you start having issues because marijuana really doesn't do only but so much. But when you start adding formaldehyde and you're spraying with all these different type of chemicals to make these different flavors and strains, they have stuff called Black Widow. Why would you smoke this? So again, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, Max, I'd like to
Let me bring in Queen Angela. Go ahead. I want to bring in Queen Angela before she gets cut off again. But I'm going to let you go ahead, Courtney, then I'm going to bring in Queen Angela. And Tinashe will get back to you. This is a very good topic. Go ahead, Courtney.
Okay. In Tinashe, earlier presentation, he made some very important points, especially about the chemical imbalance in the brain and hormonal imbalance in the body. And so I'd like him to elaborate a little bit on that, because most people don't know how these things affect, a person, so to speak. So I'd like him to elaborate a little on it.
Okay.
Brother Tinashe? Yeah.
All right. Maybe before I jump, maybe I'll actually elaborate that after Queen Angela. Then I'll come back on that one. But I just wanted to share something on what my sister just shared about marijuana. What I was saying about marijuana is like, you understand it better in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
But when you come back to some of the countries like ours, which is Zimbabwe, marijuana is associated with a lot of stigma and unhealthy stigma because people lack understanding. You understand what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And which presents a crisis.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? To such an extent that because some people just think if someone just smoke marijuana just once, that person will become hooked for life and will become dysfunctional, which is a myth but not a fact.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
True.
So it's not about the drug. It's about the people. It's about the person who's taking that drug.
Correct.
You understand?
Yeah. Correct.
It's not about the drug. It's about the person who is taking the drug.
Sure.
The reason why we have seen this mushrooming of these other drugs which you are seeing now, like crystal meth and some of those things which are being manufactured just for people to get high, is because it's due to the fact that most people they cannot some of them they cannot afford to get that hook to get the standardized drugs. You understand? And in some communities like ours, a lot of some of those things there are no options to get those kind of drugs. You understand what I mean?
Yes, right.
And people tend to forget that these people, they are self-medicating. Most of them, they are coming from broken homes. Most of those people, they are being marginalized in the community that they are living in.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of bad things are associated with such groups of people. Youth are considered irrelevant as far as making critical decisions for their lives is concerned. You understand?
Right.
And an approach to help them, they are not. Some people will sit down and brainstorm on solutions which they think they'll help the youth without involving the same youth. At the end of the day, they'll come up with solutions which will not gel with their targets. You understand? This is where our crisis is.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've managed to unveil what I was the reason why to point at marijuana. It's not about the drug. Get me right? It's not about the drug. It's about the people. We need to work with the people. If people are taught how to parent, if people are taught how to blend with this information age, with the 21st century, because there are a lot of parenting models which have been outdated because we are living in a totally different dispensation.
Okay. I don't want to interrupt you, but I do want to give Queen Angela a chance to come in. But you do bring up a very valid point. It's not about the quote unquote drug or substance of choice. People can take food and become an addict. It can be anything. It can be work. So it all goes back to the mentality of that individual and what they're actually experiencing, going through, depends on what that they reach for. So very good topic. Queen Angela, could you unmute your mic for me and come on in and share with us? We're glad you're back.
Hi, brothers and sisters. I've decided not to bring in a new topic. I would like to run with what Tinashe has been talking about. Okay. Here in Zimbabwe, we are having confusion between the traditional way of raising children and the so introduced, colonial way of raising children. Presently, we're having a lot of problems with youths because they are parenting themselves. Why I say that is the economy in Zimbabwe is not very stable. And a lot of parents have had to leave Zimbabwe to go and work outside the country. Because of the difficulties of baby minders and babysitters. For instance, in the UK, they leave the kids here. The children are left here on their own, either under an 18-year-old brother, an 18-year-old uncle, or an old grandmother. The way my mother raised me is totally different from the way I raise my children. And it's also different from the way that my children are raising their children. So we've got that confusion about which way we are supposed to raise our children. And the children's expectations are also creating confusion because they compare themselves to the next person. We've got the sex and sexuality, which is still taboo in our culture, that you get involved sexually with a man that hasn't married you. Because of the economic situations, you are finding that, girl children are indulging with men as grown up as their own fathers or their grandfathers just to get a penny. And this is actually causing a lot of mental and physical illnesses of transgenerational sexual involvements. And it's got mental and psychological issues of their own, in that this older guy has got his expectations. He's actually teaching the old ways of doing things to a child who has got other expectations, and they've got to meet halfway. And that halfway is causing quite a lot of depressions because there are a lot of expectations on both sides. Having said that, because the children are also parenting themselves, there are a lot of experiments. There are parties that go on. As Tinashe mentioned about the drugs, you are right. The marijuana is mixed with all sorts because kids are experimenting under no supervision. I know marijuana here is also used for medical purposes. Yeah. I was once prescribed it and I couldn't take it, but that's me. Children here have become perpetrators of their own ugly destiny. Why I say that is the decisions that they make, they don't think about tomorrow. It's all about today. Grab what you can take and run away. Wow. And the parents overseas, they're actually sending money to appease the habits of the children. We know girls who pay men to do whatever they need to do with them. And we know boys that are paying older women to do whatever they need to do with them, and vice versa. So we are living in a very confused kind of era for our youths, with a lot of mental problems that vary from depression to suicide, even schizophrenia. Yeah. Because these underlying situations are actually bringing these psychological issues up. I worked in an organization that was working with child abuse. I was shocked to the core to find out, the rapes that were going on, that they were not just rapes from strangers, actually father raping father, uncle raping brother, brother raping sister, and so on and so forth. And this is causing a lot of mental illnesses that we may never be able to manage. But, this is what is happening. You find a father raping his 3-month-old baby. I mean, really? Isn't that mental illness? And you find, grandparents raping their grandchildren who are under their custody. Where are we heading to? Mental illness. And we don't have institutions to cater for all these, problems. We are looking at grandparents like myself. All I'm interested is the money that my daughter or my son is sending, and what happens to the children. They are out in the streets trying to survive. So, our situation at the moment is really upside down. And some of the habits that happen is because children in getting into all sorts of habits. Yeah. They are also trying to punish oneself for the bad they think they may have done, by indulging in all sorts of things that will make them end up in a mental hospital. I mean, depression is I think, I would say maybe, I don't have the proper figures, but most of our youths are depressed because of the situation. And we're also looking at those that may have been privileged to get education. They can't get jobs. And what next? You'll be on the streets trying to survive. You are looking at an older woman for boys to look after them. You are looking at older men to look after you. And they've got their own responsibilities. And what is the end result? Suicide. Drug addiction, drug abuse, and other abuses that they can get hold of. So it's really a mess. I don't know, I compare Zimbabwe with other countries, but Zimbabwe, we are really in shambles where our youths are concerned. We are also looking at habits where youths are punishing themselves. They probably think it is their fault that they are in the situation that they are in, without actually, someone helping them to get to the core of the problems. And we are very good at pointing fingers without, actually looking at how we can assist them. We are also looking at behaviors that are communicating certain issues, and people group them or lump them in a bin or in a basket where they give them all sorts of labels. He does this because of that, she does this because of that, without actually interrogating why the youths are doing that. And then there are also other antisocial behaviors that happen. I mean, our youths are so rowdy and rude. There's no respect for an elder anymore because of, the current situation we are having in the country. We've got counselors, we've got, psychiatrists. The psychiatrists are completely and totally outnumbered by the demand of their services. Counselors, we don't have overall counselors that are focusing on mental health. They are trying to build them up, but, we've got our own biases. And once a mental health worker has got a bias about a certain subject, then they cannot help, the subject involved in whatever. So that is another problem that we have in the country. As for institutions that cater for such youths, I would say they are non-existent because the country can cope. Our health situation is just in shambles, both physically and mentally. Health institutions are nowhere to be found or anything to talk about. I like the way how Tinashe tackled, and also the numbers of dumped babies and children are on the increase. And, they get arrested. They are lumped in, we don't have juvenile, prisons. They are lumped together with adults. And the end result is another even deeper mental illness for the young. We are also looking at adults that are not trained, although we've got some psychiatrists that are trying to train community elders to deal with psychiatric issues. But, it's something that you cannot be trained overnight, to tackle overnight and get rid of overnight. So, we are facing, huge problems with our youths in Zimbabwe. I would say, in a nutshell, this is what I can contribute for now.
Wow. Wow. Let me say that you touched on many points. I even saw Brother Carlton there nodding his head, that are very similar to what's going on in Jamaica, with the same situation where you have parents leaving children behind, going to America. This has been happening forever. My mother did it. with my grandmother and our family because they wanted a better life. And when you do this, of course, the children are left behind with family members, and who knows what is going on. So you really touched up on a lot of things that are really happening, again, in the Caribbean and in Africa. Thank you for that. Brother Tinashe, I would like you to address Courtney's question because it was very vital as to, I think it was referring to the levels, Courtney. Would you repeat your question, and we're going to have Brother Tinashe give his input on that.
Yeah, it's just about the chemical imbalance in the brain and also about hormonal imbalances in the body, because we know that these things it do affect our mental health, and I just want him to elaborate on it.
Okay.
And quickly before when Brother Medford comes, I don't know if you could just discuss some of the early signs that people can look out for and all of that. So, but just let Tinashe answer those questions.
Okay. Thank you, Courtney. Brother Tinashe?
Okay. Yellow.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. I think we understand as human beings that we are what we eat, right?
Correct.
And even we reproduce ourselves in our offsprings. Do you get me that?
Yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So if you are not balanced, or if you are imbalanced as an individual, you are bound to reproduce an imbalanced child, because you cannot give what you don't have.
True.
Right?
True.
So some of the things that if you want to understand what is ideal for us as human beings, we need to go back to some of the first people who lived on this planet and understand their kind of lifestyles and what they did and how they handled whatever, be it for example, if we are talking of diet. Right now we are having a challenge whereby we have westernized, especially here in Africa, we've westernized most of our diets, trying to look into these things. Like we end up consuming things that are not nutritionally balanced or nutritionally sufficient to cater for our human needs. You understand? So some of our brain chemicals, I'll give you an example of serotonin. This is a hormone which is responsible for what can I say? It's more like a happy a balanced hormone, a happy hormone. Like it balances the mind, right? So it's made out of tryptophan, which is an amino acid, which we get from what we call essential nutrients, the nutrients that we get from the food that we eat. So if we chronically consume foods which lack that kind of amino acids, what will happen to our brain balance? Because our bodies cannot manufacture things that are supposed to be gained from things that we have eaten from our nutrients. What will be the result? It means we would have a deficiency, and it will affect our functionality, or the functionality of even functionality of our brains. You understand? So, for us to thrive as a people, we need to build supporting structures to understand these things. Because if I would encourage each and every one of us on this platform to adopt the use of what we call a food journal, a food journal. Right, where you record what you'll be eating and how you feel afterwards. You understand? That alone would help you to understand some of the things that will destroy your day or your functionality from the kitchen.
Okay.
We have adopted so many unhealthful practices and diets from all over the world, just to blend with a certain style that we think is the in thing.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, even as a globe, even in America, wherever you think, in fact, as a globe, we're actually now trying to encourage. It's now being encouraged to get back to our traditional diets or to our native diets, because it has been proven that the way these foods they are being produced to meet the global demand, at times they are now being produced in an unethical fashion, where we now see people actually getting some of these like injecting certain kind of hormones because their approach is profit oriented, and this leaves certain residues which are actually detrimental to our human health and even the health of our environment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
as the relationship between between us humans and the environment that we live in is so intimate to such an extent that if one sneezes, the other will catch a cold. And this has taken the whole world centuries and centuries to come to grips with this with this idea or with this finding. And it's evident in the statistics, because like we are the most gifted generation as far as science and technology is concerned, but we are suffering more than anyone who has ever lived on this planet. What
Brother
is the reason?
Tinashe, if I could, briefly interject, only because we're running out of time and I need to have
It's okay, it's fine.
Carlton. But I want to ask you something specific. No, we're going to have you come back, Brother Tinashe. I'm just letting you know that now, because you have so much information that we need to be out there. I'm curious, what kind of foods, briefly, if you can just tell us, would you suggest people could incorporate in their diets that may, or even little things to raise their serotonin levels in the brain?
Okay, you're asking about the foods that we can eat. Like, I want to tell you this. Body wisdom. It's we're endowed with amazing body wisdom instincts, right?
Uh-huh.
Our body knows what they want. We have more to fear in the things that we eat that we have adopted than the both. Like if we happen to eat the native diets as we see them, we will be assured of getting the what. We will be assured of getting the right nutrients, and that would balance our systems, right?
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Hello?
I think we're having a connection
Yes,
issue.
it was jaking. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, we have.
I'm very sorry. I'm sorry. My phone was jaking.
Okay.
Okay. I would. So I was saying. The things that we can eat, like we do have for those who eat meat, we do have salmon.
Salmon. Okay.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Salmon. That it is a resource of tryptophan, right? We also have nuts and seeds. Though myself, I prefer plant versions of some of these things because there's less experiments in the plant kingdom as in comparison to the animal kingdom. So nuts and seeds, right? They are good. Pineapples, they are right. Tofu, soy, turkey, and other poultry. But when it comes to animals, you need to bear in mind that you need to understand that how that animal has been produced is a serious impact on the nutritional profile of that animal, of its meat, I mean. right? And also how it's going to be produced, because we have a lot of things that we need to avoid. Like there are certain spices which contains things like monosodium glutamate, known as MSG.
Okay, so let me just sum it up because I have to let Brother Carlton in. So you're saying
okay,
salmon, nuts, seeds, fruits. I know leafy green vegetables are good, and no MSG, right? And it depends if you're doing meat. It depends on, people don't know kosher. People, they are very particular how their meat is prepared. They don't want the animal to have gone through any trauma because it comes out in the meat itself. So a lot of people don't know that. Mm-hmm. So if they kill your chicken brutally, be careful. All right, Brother Tinashe, I thank you so much. I'm going to let Brother Carlton continue. Brother Carlton, we got a good 5-6 minutes. I'm going to let you have that. Go right ahead. Unmute your mic for me, please.
Okay. Just to say something quick about the food, right? I've heard this before. That kind of makes sense. If God created, eat it. Simple as that. If he didn't, he don't make burgers. He don't make processed food. He don't make bacon, right? Those foods are what carry what we call carcinogens in them. So you get those foods, they actually promote more of your cells and cause those cells to create not antigen, pathogens, which actually can create cancer cells. And there's not only just food that can create cancer cells, it's also your emotional state and your environment is how we express our genes. But I'll go into that another time. The question the person has asked is about signs of showing for mental health.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Keep this in mind. When you know a person, when you see a person, you don't always hear what they say. You pay attention mostly to body language. And one of the the basic indicators of actually a person going through something traumatic or something that is affecting their mental health is human behavior. A person is outgoing might become more introverted, more reserved. A person that goes through, say, especially with teenagers, especially when they go through self-harming themselves and stuff, you'll find them more reclusive. Get them to, and rather than the child coming and talking to you, you'll find that they'll give a bit of a distance. Mm-hmm. Anything that you perceive to be out of normal behavior, assume something is causing it. Mm-hmm. Even if you check and there's nothing causing it, always assume something is causing change in behavior. What is it? Talk to me.
Right.
It's best to also ask the question to find out that there's really nothing behind it than to assume everything is okay and realize that you've missed. So one of the biggest indicators is change in pattern, change in behavior. Mm-hmm. Another thing is I pay attention to a person's eyes. Our eyes really says a lot, which is go back to pay attention to your body language. But our eyes, normally, think about this right now. Whenever you think about something or you're going through something that's hurtful and you're recalling emotional, your eyes normally goes down.
True.
And there's a funny thing about it because our eyes access information is up for visual, lateral mostly for audio, and down for kinesthetic or digital audio. So when we have feelings or we're thinking about something, our eyes normally focus down. And think about it when you're using your mobile phone, your eyes are down on the mobile phone, and we get very emotional about something because our eyes actually pinpoints which part of our brain we actually tapping into. So when somebody's thinking about something, they always mostly will walk with their head down the body language. They'll have a bit of slump over. When they sit down, they probably, how many of us, when we feel a bit down, we put on something, we just throw something on without paying attention to a person, and we just go in the corner and we just cuddle ourselves for comfort. So pay attention to body language, pay attention to tonality of voice. When we're happy and stuff, we have a very high pitch, a very energetic voice. When we are down, our voice has a bit of a drone and it feels as though the energy is out of it. So it's very laid back and soft tone and lower than usual.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Person could be lack of appetite. A person that have eaten a healthy meal, pay attention to if this person isn't eating regular activity, how active the person is compared to when they're in a good mood. And we know, imagine when you're in a good mood, how your body language is and how active you are. If you know a person that normally is active and all of a sudden you see there's a change, we don't know what caused it, but we know something has happened because there is a change in body. Body language basically is connected to our mental state.
Right.
Right. People will say, how could I miss these signs? And especially and it's not always easy to identify as well, especially when a person is smiling and laughing.
Right.
I'll tell you something, a trick about when people smile and laugh. Pay attention to eyes when you laugh. When we smile and we feel real energy, real authentic with that, our smile normally goes up, and our eyes, it has like a pinch here, the muscle, because you're using these group of muscles here to accentuate your smile.
Mm-hmm.
When people just smile and they just go across it, it's more lateral. So you only use these muscles rather than here. So this is more like an entertainment smile. Everybody's smiling. It's expected that you smile. You smile because it's expected. When you smile because you're genuinely happy, right? You use more muscles in your face, therefore the smile is shaped different.
True.
Does that make sense?
It's true. It's very true. Yeah.
Right. And because the first things we see is what we see. In some cases, is what we don't see as well.
Exactly.
Not what you see, sometimes what you do not see. And what you do not see is what is regular patterns of behavior.
True. Very true. Wow.
Yes.
I'm agreeing with what you're saying, because a lot of people, they said, but I didn't see the signs. I was there because we're used to them being who they are whenever they are, and we're not really paying attention that something's off.
But I'll mention something as well. Some people can also get very good at hiding.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Right?
You can hide,
we don't always see, and it comes with experience and time. Because I'm practicing so much more with clients, I'm paying attention to what we call calibration. I'm getting better at it at the beginning. Even though I had knowledge, it still comes with practice. It's not automatic. With some people, it's clear. I am very, very good at covering or hiding what I'm going through emotionally, because I learned early how to shut myself down, how to separate my different emotional states. I wasn't aware of what I was doing. I just knew that when I'm in an environment, if I'm home and I have problems home, when I'm home, I'm there. From the time I step through my door, I can leave that problem behind me. I'm in a different state. People will see me and see me laughing. You're always happy. I have no idea what I'm going through. You remember the program we had before we were talking about wearing masks?
Mm-hmm.
We all can learn and get very good at wearing a mask.
True.
And just sometimes it comes with a bit of saying something and seeing a slight change, because a person will be talking happy everything. You ask, tell me how life is with you, how you're dealing with stress, how you're working, and for a slight brief of time, that person, what we call micro muscle, that person's face will do something to let me know. I just touched a nerve.
Yes.
I just touched a nerve. Even if you try to go back to what we call default setting, right? But it comes with practice.
True.
And so a person, when we see people, we assume we are making assumptions continuously. We assume that when a car comes to a red light, it's going to stop. Right? We assume that when we hear thunder and lightning in the dark, it's going to rain. We make assumptions. That's part of how we look at information. So we make an assumption by seeing a person, regular behavior that is compatible with what we know. We see majority, if 80% of that pattern of behavior is the same as before, we say that person is okay. It is the 20% that we overlook at times.
Well, with that being said, Brother Carlton, we have 1 minute left. So we did great today. I mean, this was a very good topic, and I know that the Real Stuff podcast, we're going to do this again, because mental illness is serious and it's important, and we need to tackle it. I want to thank everyone that's been here, our guests on the panel, everyone, the visitors, our viewers, our subscribers, for coming in and sharing their experience, expertise, and valuable knowledge that we can use. So we must do this again. There will be a part 2. I can smell it coming. And this was good. This was really, really good. Franco? Yeah, thanks a lot. It was what we love having you. Always love having you.
Yes, we want to thank our guest speakers today, especially Carlston and what's his name again?
Tinashe.
Tinashe, Queen Angela, because they're in far distance and they take time out today just to be here with us well, they're in the other time zone, evening for all three of them. So thank you, Carlton. And, we are still enjoying morning, Flavius. I am in the afternoon now. So we thank you all very much. I mean, it was a short notice, but as always, Carlton is always there to, lend his hand, his support, and, to pass on some knowledge to us. And Tinashe, I love your conversation. I would love you and Carlton to link up, again.
Oh, yeah.
I hope next time we can see you guys live and direct in living colors. Yeah, because, I like it. It was riveting. And we thank everyone who was sitting quiet. I see Shakim there. I also see, I don't even know who's Treasure, but a lot of people, even Professor seems like he's here too. Is he here, Max Wanet? Yeah.
I see the professor. I'm not sure if the professor is available. Professor,
Okay.
could you unmute your mic? Are you there? There you go. He may not be. Wait. Okay, the connection is very low.
Yeah.
But he's there.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
But we just, we're just happy that all of you take time out to come. I know the professor was sending me a text earlier. He was blazing the fire because he loved what he's hearing, So with that, for those of you inside the YouTube chat room, we thank you also for taking time out and for, participating. I see you were all commenting. Right, Max? It was active this morning.
Oh, yes. We have a few people here. Eddie's in there. Errol is in there. They're having a good conversation regarding this topic. Mm-hmm. They're very interested about mental health. So, yes, the people are listening.
Yeah, so we're happy that you all could participate this morning, even though the time was short, but at least we get something. And, yeah, we're looking forward to a part 2, which, we're going to make sure we put it together so we can get individual now to, talk about, some issues of men. I love when Carlton, make his presentation because he always get us to interact, and that is wonderful. I love that. Yeah, that's one. Because when you mentioned the bicycle, it just, I fell off of one the other day and I was like, it's been a while I've tried to ride a bicycle, and eventually it took a while. It took 2 days before I could actually ride it again.
But you got it back. You got it back.
Yeah. So
a bit longer, you got it back.
Yeah.
Not the time, but you got it back. Exactly.
Yeah. So I want all of you to. I want to let all of you know. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share the video, because the object of this channel is to educate and entertain you as well. And this is your Caribbean podcast. All right. Okay. And so, with that, live and love every moment of your life. Be grateful for each new day. Cherish your friends, your family. Bless others, keep the faith, and never lose hope. And remember, prayer changes things regardless of what religion you belong to. Continue to pray. All right?
Yeah.
So we're going to ask Queen Lubafu to chant us the Our Father in the Garifuna language. And then Tafina will take with myself to take us out of here.
You lead us to Fula. You belong far away away. Ajuguala Lebabu Seru. Lead Amua, lead us to Fula. Lead Amua, lead us to Fula.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know send me if it could flee. Me have to take away me say. Me have to take away me say. Me have to hide like a thief in the night. Me have to get out of sight. Me have to take away me say. Have to take away me say. I have to utilize I will.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
This relationship I'm gonna desist.